Good day. This Olaranjo Akande on the series Counsel with Olaranjo Akande. Yeah. So we have been discussing about so many educative content recently, which I believe that the understanding of certain aspect of life is being revealed to us. Yes. And one of the first things I want us to check into the
night.
other thing which I have written here. Yeah, it's a very controversial thing, and it's on a subject of two kind of things. We are debating on a principled kind of life and a person in request for a leverage to be able to do more advancing. Yeah, I'm not here to criticize leverage. Leverage are good, of course. If you have certain leverage, there's certain that will be a possibility very easily. But I'm not here to cite leverage. What I found out, the excuse of many people not doing great things is because they don't have the privilege of people that we actually we actually help them doing those things. And today I want to show you. Let's start. Principled life is more predictable than a man looking for a transference of inheritance or privileges. Let me show you this. When you are principled, then there are no leverage. I tell you that that principle can bring you more than a person that have leverage without principle. Yeah, because I found out the people will say, if I have many advantages like this person have, I will have done much. I tell you, if you have this advantage without a principled kind of lifestyle, you not have done much. Because one thing about principle is that principle is like a bridge between where you are and where you are going to. So if you can practice those principles, you surely get there. It will only take time, but you still arrive there. So if you have leverage and lack principle, it will only mar you. Because one thing about leverage is that if you don't understand how leverage works, one thing is that you will use that leverage with the wrong principle, because you can have the right kind of art and use the wrong kind of principle, and you can have the right kind of principle and use the wrong kind of art. So what I actually mean is that most time people have leverage, but because they lack principle, they don't still amount to what they should amount to. Do you get? So that's why I say principle is more predictable than any man that has leverage. A man principled is more predictable than any man that just have leverage without the principle. So a principled life brings you to competency. And one thing about competence, that when you are competent, it gives you confidence. You can stand before anything in any place to actually defend what you have. So most times people have leverage, but they cannot defend what they have. So when you ask how do you get it, they can just keep beating around the bush because they actually don't have the gut there. It's not a principle that they can transfer. One beautiful thing about principle is that you can tell the next generation how you arrived here, how you got here. You can tell them that these are the principles I practice to get. What you have principle that can be transferred. Now leverage, if there's leverage and there's lack of principle, you cannot be able to transfer, because that thing will have marred you. You'll have think this thing, you will not even have the ability, it will not be teachable to the next generation. That's why I say principled life brings you into competence. So that competence gives you confidence to stand on any platform to defend what you know. I believe you get me. So that's why you have a lot of people out there, because of the leverage and everything they have, they are not well principled to be able to preserve that. And in the long run, what the thing they have was taken away from them. Do you get me? Are you? I don't know if you understand me. And do you know there is one beautiful thing about the transference of everything of leverage, or it's only dependent on the nature of the person you are now. This is there are a lot of people that even the person that owns that leverage cannot give to the next generation, because he knows that if you get to the hand of this person, it will be destroyed. So most time, even before leverage get to you, they will have found out, can this person handle this thing? And in a way that you lobby your way to get this leverage, it will only mar you, because when you are not principled, leverage cannot actually work. Okay, let me use a scenario. Let us use a scenario. There's a scenario that happens that I love looking at when it comes to leverage. I love looking at. Look at the lifestyle of Moses. You understand that God initially have the script of Moses as a deliverer. And Moses have a leverage to be in Egypt to study everything we study in Egypt. Imagine Moses, because of the pleasures of that time, doesn't pay attention to learn those language, to learn those civilization. How will you be able to bring this people out? Sometimes you receive those leverage so that you can be well principled to advance the kingdom. Do you get me? Oh, are you getting it? The ability to grow the apex of your assignment is to be principled and count the external factor, grace, as just a leverage. Now this is it. So if you cannot be able to come into a point whereby you can grow to the apex of your assignment, the only asset by which you can go to the apex of your assignment is actually principle. It's principle. When a man is principle, you found out the growth of the person is inevitable, because that thing he knows. If next generation can practice it, they will get it right. Generation after him can practice, they will get it right. Every generation that practices get it right, because the principle is applicable in everybody's life. But what we call leverage is not applicable in everybody's life, because not everybody will actually have the advantage you have. And when you have the advantage, don't forget the aspect of principle. If you are not principle, you're not able to duplicate that which you have. So a principle lifestyle is more stronger than a lifestyle that is full of leverage. You agree? So when you have leverage without principle, your life cannot be, you cannot teach me to practice it, because that leverage will not be available for everybody. I'm not trying to speak about leverage. So against leverage, it's not an attempt to speak against leverage. So you must understand that leverage is good, but with your leverage still be principled. Have a principle kind of life. You can show people that this is how we arrive here. This is another wisdom for counsel with Honorable Akande. Thank you for watching.